Hello and welcome. Where to begin? I'm just gonna go ahead and be upfront with you guys. We are already back from our trip. Things didn't go quite as planned, but that's okay. That gives me a way to figure out exactly what we think about things that happen. We have been back for a couple of days. I wanted to kind of settle into my brain as to what all happened to where I can give a fair and honest review about it. We have fur babies, and we did move not too long ago. We have a new vet, and they have a boarding facility. I figured the best thing for them would be to go to this boarding facility. In case anything happened, they would have their records and they would be right there. The issue with that is our dogs have never been kenneled. We had to leave at 3 a.m. and so we took them there around 4 p.m. the day before. And I called the next morning when they opened and checked on them, and I was told that they were good. I called back Friday morning and I was told that they were good. Later that afternoon at 5, I get the call that says one of them is not doing good, that he has not been eating, that he is snapping, and when he goes outside he's hiding, when he goes in he's not letting them give him water, he's not eating and everything. They say he won't let himself starve to death, but that he is super anxious. Well, that was 5 o'clock that afternoon on a Friday, and when I called back, of course there was no answer, which made me then want to just go home. I'd only been there a couple of days. I left a message on Facebook, and I also left a message at the clinic for them to call me back and let me know if I needed to come on home, what their plan was. Someone did get back with me on Facebook, but not through voice message or anything like that, and said that they wanted to just be upfront and clear as to how he was reacting, and that they knew he was still just anxious from never being there before, and wanted to know if it would be okay for them to give him medicine for anxiety. And I said yes, whatever he needed to do that was safe for him, for his mental health, his physical health, and then for the safety of everyone around him, yes. They did give him medicine, but there is a girl that goes in on the weekends to care for them 3 times a day, plus the vet is there 2 times a day, which made me feel a little bit better. Him being there on the weekend and no new fur babies and people coming in, I think helped settle him down a little bit, because he wasn't getting all the new smells and sounds. Now, they will not put them into the same kennel space, because if something happens and one of them becomes aggressive, take the risk of another one getting hurt. So they would not put them together, even though they normally are together. I think that also caused an issue because he's used to sleeping with the other 2, and he was not getting that. But the girl that went on the weekend called me that morning. She also called me that afternoon on Saturday and Sunday and said that she was giving him more, one-on-one attention. She was sitting down with him outside. He was getting to sit in her lap. Like, she was letting him do the things he wanted to do to make him feel better, and it was helping. She also proceeded to use his food, his little hard pieces of food, and play games with him. He did eat about 1/3 of his food that day by playing the game, and then he started spitting them out again, which is okay as long as he was getting something in him. That was our goal, was to make sure he was eating. And then she did say the food that they had left on Friday night, that he had eaten almost all of it except for a few pieces. So that, of course, made me feel better too. He had at that point eaten food. And she also gave him a bone that has the peanut butter filling in it that we had left for him to play with and chew on to help with his anxiety and to give him a little extra protein. And when she got back the next day, she said she could see where he had chewed on it too. It was a little bit better, so she told us not to worry about coming back, to go ahead and stay, and that she would be there with him Sunday also. Well, Monday was a holiday, so I kind of thought maybe she would also be there that day, but they were open, and so he was back to the same thing because of all the commotion, all the people, all the sounds, and no one really giving him that one-on-one attention that was helping his anxiety. We decided to cut the trip short and come on back. Now, that's where part of our problem was. So, as I said at the beginning, we decided to try the Getaways by Southwest. This was something we had never done before. It covers your flights to and from. It also covers your resort stay. You choose where you want to stay. And I had heard and seen good reviews on the Holiday Inn Lake Buena Vista. And so that's the one that we chose. It is just a little over a mile from Epcot and about a little over a mile from Vineland Outlet Mall, which is where Character Warehouse is. And so we did decide to stay there. When we chose the Getaways by Southwest, it says it's non-refundable. Totally understand that. Was not expecting a refund at all. I called Southwest and told them that we had an issue. We needed to get back home. We needed to change our flight. Because we did it through the Southwest package, even though we paid it in full, if we changed our flight, we had to pay for our flights to come back. Now, just note that we had already paid for our flights to come back in that package, but because we needed to change our flight, they made us pay again. We chose the cheapest flight possible, which brought us out on Tuesday morning first thing, and I had to pay an additional $350+ to come back home early. I also lost the money for the resort stays that we didn't have. So we were going to have one more night and 2 days basically, because we were supposed to have the late night flight coming back. And so we lost Tuesday, all day Tuesday and all day Wednesday of being in the parks and shopping and exploring. And then we also lost one full night. We were out, and then we were out again because we had to pay the extra money to come back. But you got to do what you got to do to make sure that everybody is healthy and safe. When we got ready to check out, I went and talked to them at the resort before we left, and the lady checked to see if she could get us a refund for the night that we were going to be missing. And because we booked it through Southwest, there was nothing she could do because it was on them. She would have refunded us one night, but due to it being a package through Southwest, we were unable to do that. I get it. I wasn't expecting a refund, but I also wasn't expecting to have to pay an additional $350 to come back early. So would I book the Getaways through Southwest again? Absolutely not. I will still continue to use Southwest. I was not able to use any of our points to book it. And because I booked it through Getaways, when I rebooked that flight and they took us off the original flight, I still was not able to use my points on the flight to come back. If I had, it would have been, great, because I wouldn't have actually had to pay money. I would have given them my points, and I would have done that and not been upset at all about it. But the fact that they wouldn't even let me use my points to rebook that flight, which doesn't make any sense because I still had to pay for it, but they would not let me do that. So I still don't understand that part of it. I don't know why I couldn't, but they refused to do it and charged my card $350+. Again, it is what it is, but I want to be upfront with everyone as to what happened and how it worked. So no, I would not book another Getaways through Southwest. What I would do is book my flight through Southwest, and then I would book my resort stay through the resort. Lessons learned, I won't do that again. We stayed at the Holiday Inn, Lake Buena Vista in Orlando, and I want to talk about that resort. So it advertises having shuttle service. Just know, we called the day before we left to verify our confirmation, to make sure everything was good, and everything was good and set. We did find out on that call that they do not actually have a shuttle service to and from the airport, which I had read that they did. They do not. So if you are expecting to have a shuttle to come pick you up, you do not get that. We did take an Uber. When we got to the hotel, they had a flyer up on the desk showing the shuttle services to the parks, because that was one reason we chose it, was because it said they have a shuttle service to the parks. And they do. But they only have one shuttle per day to go and one shuttle per day to come back. And it is first come, first serve. And some of them leave at 7 a.m., which is fine. Just know that sometimes the parks don't open until 9. So if you take that 7 a.m. shuttle, you are sitting and waiting in the heat until the park opens 2 hours later. And if you're okay with that, then that's great. Just know that if you get up and get ready and go out the door to get on that shuttle, and there are already a lot of people in front of you, you're not getting on that shuttle anyway. So we did find that to be an issue. The earliest shuttle is for Universal Studios, which is further away. But you might want to check and see when the hours are, and make sure you have a backup plan, because you're probably going to end up paying for an Uber unless there are a lot of people that are not going that day. So that was not what we were expecting. I expected to have shuttles running about every 20, 30, 45 minutes, something like that, to and from parks, and that was definitely not the case. Now, there were a couple of times that they went to 1 or 2 parks. I think it was Magic Kingdom and possibly Epcot, and then that would be your only 2 options to go. And then you would get 1 option from the different areas to come back. They would tell you the lane that they pick up in, but they would not show you a map or give you an idea as to where to find that. And if you're not familiar with it, you would not have a clue. So obviously the shuttle service is not through the Holiday Inn, it's through another company. I did have some issues with that part of it because I was under the impression that the shuttles were through Holiday Inn and that they would work with you, and they do not. So just know that if you are planning to save money that way, don't plan on it, because I spent a lot of money through Uber to get to and from the resort. I was not expecting that either. Now, how was the stay there? So we ended up with one of the rooms that had 2 queen size beds in it, and it was a nice big room. There were only 2 of us there. It would have been just fine for 4 people and no issues. We did have some minor inconveniences as far as the water. If you got ready to take a bath, you needed a hot bath, or after being at the parks and wanting to soak, you would have to let the water run for anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes for it to get hot. So if you are going to take a hot bath and there were people taking a shower, make sure they take it first, because you are not getting a bathtub of hot water without someone being in there for about 10 minutes before you. So if you're just wanting to do a bath for some young kids, some small kids, and you don't want the water to get real hot, it would have been perfect for that, but not for someone wanting to take a hot bath and soak. The other issue we had was the toilets do not flush very well. You had to flush the toilets sometimes 3 and 4 times just to get like toilet paper to go down. It just is what it is, and we would just do what needed to be done to make it work. We also had an issue with the plate on the door, the metal plate where the locking mechanism is, and the deadbolt wouldn't lock the first night. We had to mess around with it to get it to lay flat, and then very slowly close the door to get that part to lock. The second night it wouldn't lock at all. So they came up and told us that it would be the next day before they could do it, because it was late at night and they couldn't drill a hole to put a new screw in there while everybody was asleep. And we understood that completely, but it was an issue, but they did come up and attempt to fix it, and then they did fix it the next day. So not a big issue, just had to let them know, and they fixed it. So as far as the resort itself goes, it also has an Applebee's that's in there. So they do have a buffet, but it is through Applebee's. And then next door they had a Landry's and a Saltgrass. One road over they had a Bahama Breeze, and then I'm sure they had quite a few other places too, just like real close to us. We didn't really explore that much, but we did walk down to Bahama Breeze and eat. So that is an option if you're looking for places to eat and you don't want to eat at the park. Just know there were some good options pretty close if you like any of that. As far as going to the parks, we were going to be there for numerous days, and you have to make a park reservation with Disney before you go to make sure the parks are not at capacity. And so I was able to do 5 days, and then that was it. So once that 5th day was there, it would not let me do any more. 4 days, 4 or 5 days, I can't remember how many. So I couldn't do any more. So after the first day of getting there, I was then able to go in and add another reservation, and then add another reservation after the next day. So just know if you're going, you can only do 5 days. After that, you have to do each individual day after you actually go into the park. And so we were able to go, and we didn't have any trouble with the park hopping. We did try to go to Hollywood Studios a couple of times. We went once, and we didn't get to get on very much. Everything was just packed, and only half the parking lots were full. So it was very busy. They did soft open Rock and Roller Coaster that was rethemed to the Muppets while we were there, and the Mandalorian and Grogu movie came out, so people were really trying to get there for things with the Galaxy's Edge being there, but everything had a very long line. That did cause a little bit of an issue. The next time we tried to go, every parking lot that we could see from the Skyliner was full, which was the reserve and then the extended reserve. So once we got there, we literally just turned around, got right back on the Skyliner, and went back to Epcot, just because I knew what it was like when we were there before, and that was going to be even worse. So it was not worth it to us to even attempt to go into the park. I only got to go to Hollywood Studios one day while we were there and do a few things, but normally that is a park that I would love to spend time in and to do the different lands that they have, and it just wasn't happening. It was busy. It was also very hot. So it said it was in the 90s, but the real field temperature I know had to have been 100 or more. It was very humid and it was very hot. And so it wasn't the best trip with some of the issues that we had, but it was not the worst that we could have had by any means. Would I stay at the Holiday Inn Resort again? The Holiday Inn Lake Buena Vista? Sure. One of the things about it that I found was normally when you stay at a resort, your pool hours are like 10 to 10 or something like that. If you're interested in the pool at that resort, it started at 7 a.m. and went until 11 p.m., which was amazing. We didn't actually get in the pool, but you don't normally get that kind of pool hours to be able to enjoy it. They also had some of the conference rooms that you could use, and there was a pin trading event going on there. I didn't know about it until we were already leaving for the day. We saw some people coming in. I'm sad that I missed that. It was a free event, and so anybody could have gone in and traded, but we already had plans for the day, and we were trying to get everything done in our short amount of time. So I hate that we missed that. I wish I would have been able to go in and explore that part. So just know that it does seem to be a great area. It has a arcade and everything if you have kids that are interested in the arcades, or adults that are interested in that. And it had a little movie theater that people could go into and watch the movies that were playing. Now, it would be like one movie, but it was in like a little theater setup, and it was very cute. So if you're interested in things like that, then that would be a good place to stay. If you are expecting to be able to use the shuttle service, you're going to have to be really on your game to be able to do that, because I feel like you would still be paying for the Uber and missing some of your times that you had planned to go snack for the day. It's fresh fruit. So yeah, that's where we are. That's what happened. I do have some shorts that are going up that are POVs of rides already. I will have some more videos coming up, show what we got while we were there. Talks about Character Warehouse and some of the pin trading that we did and things. We had a really good time with that. So yeah, but with that being said, have a wonderful day. If you have any questions whatsoever, leave them in the comments. If you have any comments about the places, leave those too, because I would like to know. And with that being said, have a wonderful day. And remember, we love you.